My hype for this episode was so high, and I wasn't going to review this episode. I was not going to do it because I saw how it was going to go and I thought, okay, everyone's going to review it, I'm going to have nothing new to say. But boy, do I have things to say. Okay, I think this goes without saying that this is a spoiler review. However, the term spoiler is kind of used lightly because honestly, not much happened in this episode. And for a season finale that was hyped up so much by its creators, its cast, the fans, everyone, it was just the biggest disappointment I've ever had in my life. Okay, exaggeration. But it was pretty disappointing. So we start off, they're getting Maggie out of Alexandria, they need to get her to Hilltop to the doctors. I don't know when they established that these Hilltop people were actually going to help them because as far as I can see, the saviours are not dead. But whatever, they were gonna get her to Hilltop. We've got the mysterious disappearance of Paul Jesus Rovia for like the 4th episode in a row. And I'm like, if you're gonna introduce this awesome character from the comics, don't just abandon him. Please. He's great. He needs to be there. And we get this scene between Carl and Enid, and Carl locks Enid in the cupboard to make sure she doesn't come with them. And Enid goes, Carl, what am I going to do if you don't come back? How do I live? And I'm like, well, you're not going to live because no one knows you're in the cupboard, so you're going to die there. Which, whatever, I don't like Enid, so... okay. And then we get this really weird goose chase around their area where Rick somehow thinks that just running away from these people is going to mean they're going to get to their destination. They know where they're going. They know they're going to Hilltop. Why the hell would any of the other routes be clear? I mean, I don't know what else they were supposed to do, if they were supposed to get out and like massacre the lot of them that were standing in front of them, but running away and trying to find another route was clearly not going to work, and about half an hour of this episode is just taken up by them trying it. And we all know it's going to fail, but they do it anyway. And then every time a Carol and Morgan scene was on, I was like, can we just get back to the RV lot because it's so much more interesting and I'm feeling like the anticipation of what's going to happen. But ultimately, I kind of wish we'd stayed with Carol and Morgan a bit more and had something else happen to them, because nothing happened with the RV lot either. They had this really nice goodbye scene between Eugene and Abraham where Eugene's planning to take the RV forward and try and kind of distract the saviours, while the rest of them try and go around the forest to get Maggie to Hilltop without them having to go through any of the routes they know are going to be blocked off. And that scene is really, really nice. So Abraham had that one good scene, and then his other one with Sasha in the RV where he's talking about having kids with her. I don't know when this actually became a thing because as far as I can see, like these two have not even kissed or anything, and he's talking about having children with her. I don't buy Abraham and Sasha. I think it's absolutely out of nowhere, crazy, feel bad for Rosita, oh my goodness. But basically that doesn't work. They get captured by the saviours, and when they get here, Eugene is already tied up, and I literally thought they were just gonna like batter Eugene right there and then do it to someone else as well. I was wrong. Negan comes out, and I looked at the time that was left on the episode and I thought, okay, there's like 10 minutes left. We're gonna get some action here. Something is gonna happen. No. Negan just talks for like 10 minutes. And it's a great speech, but the speech kind of just seems to go round and round. He says the same things over and over. I mean, it's still really menacing and really cool and very Negan, but it doesn't go anywhere. And then you finally get to the end, and he's got Lucille, and he's going bam, and that's it. He goes bam, you don't see who he hits. What was the point? What was the point? I would have understood if they didn't show us who he hit with Lucille, if something else of note happened in that episode. The whole no one is safe thing, fine. Okay, I get no one is safe, but if you're not going to kill anyone in an episode that you're titling as like no one is safe, you're a disappointment. I fully don't understand why they thought this was a good idea. I don't understand how a cliffhanger like this is a good idea when you've hyped it up so much. I get that they want people to come back in October to watch the first episode, but honestly, this is going to turn more people off than it would on. Because it's when you do stuff like this that people start losing hope in a show. There was a time in season 5 where people were starting to lose hope with The Walking Dead, and I wasn't one of them. I loved it. But there were people that were losing hope, and this is a reason why people are still losing hope. Because most of season 6 was pretty good, there were a lot of fillers, but most of it as a whole was pretty good. This episode was just the reason people are going to give up. And you know that the next 6 months or whatever is just going to be, who'd he kill? Who did Negan kill? Who's going to be the one that's left? And you're going to get all these promo pictures of all these characters with like, I'm calling it right now, they're all going to have like X's over their face. It's going to be like, who is it? Well, I have predictions on who it is. I think it's down to 3. I think it's either Abraham, I think it's either Glenn, and I think it's either Daryl. Out of those three, I'd probably say it's going to be Abraham, because he had his goodbyes in that episode, and the whole taking it like a champ thing. I think it's going to be Abraham. But comic book spoilers, if you don't want to know. They could just, like, throw us all out the water and still kill Glenn. Because I don't think any of us are expecting it at this point, but if they did, it would be like, whoa, bitch, you thought? And then Abraham, in the comics, is supposed to die the way Denise did a couple of episodes ago, and he dies around this story arc. So if he died now, it wouldn't really do much to the story. But ultimately, this episode was just a massive disappointment. I could rant on for ages about how disappointed I was and how it doesn't make sense, and how the episode was just a big bowl of nothing, but that would probably be boring. I'm disappointed. I'm still going to watch in October, but just disappointed. Like, they had all this fear. I was so scared. My heart was beating throughout that entire speech and most of the rest of the episode. And then it just crashed because it didn't give me the relief. It didn't give me anything. And I was petrified. I was absolutely petrified. I can't even explain to you how hard my heart was beating. And then nothing happened. And that is just so disappointing. But a positive was at least the performances were great. Andrew Lincoln was fantastic in this episode, especially in the ending when they're all looking up at Negan and he's kind of moving Lucille along on who he's going to choose. Great performances from everyone, I can't fault them. But when you haven't got much content to kind of match it with, does it really matter? I didn't expect this episode to be a disappointment, and that's kind of made it worse. If I knew nothing was going to happen, then I would have been obviously expecting nothing to happen and I wouldn't have been that annoyed. But I am annoyed. So, and I don't think I'm the only one. So, yeah, disappointed.